Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling us where you're tuning in from. Let's dive into today's emotional story. Emma sat alone at the kitchen island, idly stirring her coffee as golden sunlight spilled across the pristine marble floor. Mornings like these used to be her favorite, peaceful, familiar, full of cozy rituals she shared with her husband, David. But now, every new day felt colder, emptier. Something in David had shifted, and Emma could sense it deep within. It began subtly. He'd started stashing his phone under his pillow each night, a habit he never had before. Whenever Emma entered the room, he'd instantly hide the screen or place it face down. She brushed it off at first. Maybe he was under pressure at work. Maybe he just wanted some space. She gave herself a dozen rational explanations, but none of them brought her peace. That morning, David came downstairs already suited up for work. His tie was straight, hair neatly combed back. Without so much as a glance, he reached for his travel mug. "Morning," Emma said, her voice deliberately cheerful. David gave a quick nod. "Morning. I've got an early meeting." "You want some toast?" she asked. He was already at the door. "No time. I'll grab something on the road." He offered a thin smile, so forced it bordered on painful. "Don't wait up. Might be late tonight." Emma tried to meet his eyes, but he was gone. The door clicked shut behind him. The clock read 7:13 a.m. when Grace, their teenage daughter, wandered into the kitchen, backpack slung over her shoulder. "Dad's rushing off again?" Emma nodded. "Yeah, seems like it." Grace shrugged, eyes glued to her phone. "He's always busy." Emma tousled her daughter's hair, putting on her warmest mom smile. "Want pancakes tomorrow?" Grace's face lit up. "Only if they're the chocolate chip kind." Emma's phone buzzed just then, a reminder that David's birthday was next week. She wondered if he even remembered. Trying to shake off her unease, Emma busied herself through the day, cleaning, shopping, prepping dinner. But the feeling only grew heavier. That night, while folding laundry in their bedroom, David's phone vibrated on the dresser. He was in the shower. Emma's eyes flicked to the door, then to the phone. It buzzed again. A battle raged inside her. She didn't want to be the kind of wife who snooped. But her hand moved before she could stop it. The phone didn't recognize her face, so she keyed in their wedding anniversary. Unlocked. The messages were brief but damning. One from someone saved as a Blackwood attorney. Another from an unfamiliar number. Documents finalized. Thursday meeting set. Asset division ready. She'll never suspect a thing. Everything's progressing as planned. Emma's heart slammed in her chest. She dropped the phone and stumbled from the room. The walls seemed to close in. Her breath caught. A divorce? He's filing for divorce behind my back. By the time David emerged from the shower, Emma had composed herself. "You okay?" he asked, towel draped over his neck. "Yeah," she said with a tight smile. "Just tired. Long day." He nodded and began dressing. Emma studied his face, searching for signs of guilt. But it was unreadable, a mask. The next morning, Emma phoned her best friend, Sarah. Her voice shook. "I think David's leaving me." "What?" "Emma, no. You're overthinking." Emma told her everything, his odd behavior, the late nights, the texts she'd read. Sarah went silent. "Okay, maybe it's just business stuff." "No," Emma said, voice cracking. "I read it. The words were right there. Division of assets. He's talking to a lawyer." Sarah cursed softly. "What are you going to do?" "I don't know," Emma admitted, panic rising. "I gave up my career to support him. I helped him build his business. Everything is in his name. If he goes through with this, you have to confront him. Not yet, Emma said quickly. I need to understand how deep this goes. Sarah's tone dropped. Be careful, Em. Start protecting yourself. Don't let him suspect you're on to him. I won't, Emma whispered. I just need time to think. That night, sleep eluded her. She lay staring at the ceiling, replaying years of marriage. The late nights, the locked accounts, the changing passwords, had it all been a lie? In the darkness, she made a quiet vow, if he's preparing for war, I'll be ready for battle. The next day, after David left for work, Emma slipped into his home office. He was meticulous, still kept physical files instead of going digital. She went straight to the cabinet marked, personal. Inside, a folder labeled, legal, caught her eye. With trembling hands, she opened it. Drafts of legal petitions. Letters from an elite law firm. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Proposed division of marital estate. Custody terms. Her heart pounded. It was real. He wasn't just thinking about it, he was planning to take everything. Her phone lit up with a message from Sarah. Any updates? Emma replied. Yes. Legal drafts. Divorce filings. I don't think he knows I found them. Sarah's reply was immediate. You need professional help. Someone who understands this stuff. Emma thought for a moment, then typed. Michael. David's old college buddy. He's a financial analyst. Always said I could reach out if I ever needed advice. Call him, Sarah urged. But don't breathe a word to David. I won't, Emma replied. Thanks for always being here. That evening, Emma texted Michael. Can we talk? It's serious, and private. His reply was swift. Come to my office tomorrow at 11. Tell no one. She deleted the conversation and tucked her phone away. At dinner, David was unusually talkative. How was your day? He asked, pouring wine. Emma smiled politely. Busy. Grace has a science fair coming up. David nodded. She's smart. Just like her mom. Emma forced a laugh. She gets it from both of us. They ate in silence for a while before David spoke again. I might be out of town next week. Quick trip to London. Emma raised an eyebrow. Bring me back some tea. David chuckled, but the sound felt hollow. Later, as he watched TV with Grace, Emma sat at the kitchen table, staring at the folder hidden beneath her sweater. She needed help. And tomorrow, she'd get it. The following morning, Emma dropped Grace off at school and headed straight to Michael's office downtown. He was waiting in the reception area, his expression serious. Without a word, he led her into a quiet conference room. Okay, Emma. Tell me everything, he said, his tone gentle but direct. Emma took a deep breath. David's filing for divorce. He's been secretly talking to lawyers, laying out how he's going to divide up our lives. I have no assets in my name, Michael. If he pulls this off, I'll be left with nothing. Michael's eyes narrowed. Does he have any idea you know? Emma shook her head. Not a clue. I haven't said a word. He nodded. Good. First rule, never let them see you coming. Let me see what you've got. Emma slid the folder across the table. Michael flipped through the documents slowly, his jaw tightening. This is serious. He's working with one of the most ruthless divorce firms in the city. He pointed at a section. If he's already moving assets, it'll be tricky to trace. You sure you're ready for what this might involve? Emma's voice quivered, but she didn't flinch. I have to do this. Michael leaned back. Okay. We start by monitoring all financial activity. If he's making transfers, especially overseas, we need to catch them. Emma nodded. Whatever it takes. He gave her a reassuring smile. We'll get through this, Emma. Just stay calm and keep playing your role. That night, Emma lay in bed, staring at the ceiling when David walked in. You still awake? He asked, sitting beside her. Yeah, she replied softly. I know I've been distant lately, David said. Work's been a mess. I'm sorry. Emma studied his face, wondering how he managed to sound so sincere. It's all right, she said gently. We'll work through it. He leaned down and kissed her forehead. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Emma held still, pretending the words meant something. But inside, she knew better. He was lying through his teeth. And now, so was she. She thought of Grace. Of their home. Of everything she had sacrificed. She wouldn't let it all slip away. A few days later, she passed by David's office just in time to catch the end of a phone call. All set for next week. She won't see a thing coming, he said, chuckling. Emma's blood ran cold. When he walked out moments later, she greeted him with a smile so calm it was almost convincing. But her fear was morphing into something else. Determination. She wouldn't just sit back and watch him dismantle her life. Not anymore. The next day, she returned to Michael's office. The circles under her eyes were darker, her posture tenser. Michael greeted her with concern. You look exhausted. I haven't slept, she admitted. Every night I lie there, wondering what he's going to do next. Michael opened his laptop. Let's go through your joint account activity. Anything strange? Emma sighed. I don't even know what I'd be looking for. He nodded. Let's check your last few statements together. Emma logged in and they began reviewing transactions line by line. Suddenly, Michael paused. Right there. See this? 200 grand wired to an account ending in 7135. That account yours? Emma shook her head. No. I've never seen it before. Michael jotted it down. Definitely suspicious. Let's keep going. They traced through more entries. Patterns began to emerge, small sums at first, but growing in size and frequency. Over the past month, David had been slowly draining their joint savings. Michael leaned back. He's bleeding the account. Little by little so you wouldn't notice. Trying to leave you with scraps. Emma clutched her forehead, trying to hold back tears. Michael reached out. This is bad, Emma. But it's also good. It gives us leverage. Proof that he's hiding assets ahead of filing. That's financial misconduct. Courts don't take that lightly. Emma wiped her eyes. How do I get more proof? Michael studied her. Can you keep pretending? Make him think you're completely unaware. Emma took a steadying breath. Yes. I can. That night, she cooked David's favorite meal. She laughed at his jokes. She helped Grace with her homework while pretending not to notice David texting with a smug grin on his face. He hovered nearby, unusually affectionate. Let's go away this weekend, he said. Just you and me. Maybe a day trip to the lake. Emma smiled. That sounds lovely. He touched her arm. I know I've been off lately. Things are smoothing out. I want us to feel good again. Emma nodded sweetly. I'd really like that, David, but inside, she wanted to scream. Was this his guilt peeking through? Or just another step in the charade? Grace bounded in. Can I have some ice cream? David laughed. Sure. You two deserve a treat. Emma watched them interact, heartbreaking and boiling all at once. How could he wear the mask of a loving husband and father, while scheming to rip their lives apart? Still, she kept up the act. She went to the gym. She chatted with neighbors. She ran errands with a smile. But every night, she reviewed the financial alerts Michael had set up. Every time David moved money, Emma got notified. A few days later, a new message buzzed on her phone, from Michael. He booked a private meeting at Avalon Hotel. Same lawyer's name as in those texts. Be there at 6 p.m. tomorrow if you want to catch him. I'll handle the front desk. Just don't get spotted. Emma's heart thudded. I'll be there. The next day dragged on endlessly. Emma went through the motions, eyes on the clock. That evening, David strolled into the kitchen. I've got a late meeting tomorrow, might not be home till late. Emma smiled. Hope it goes well. He looked visibly relieved. Thanks, Em. You're amazing. The following evening, Emma parked her car 2 blocks from the Avalon Hotel. Wearing sunglasses and a cap, she entered the building like any ordinary guest. Michael was waiting inside, dressed like a businessman checking in. He handed her a burner phone. Voice recorders loaded. Just keep it in your bag. It'll pick up plenty. Emma's hands trembled. Will he recognize me? Michael shook his head. Not if you stay in the lounge. Just pretend you're on your phone. No one will notice. Emma thanked him, then made her way to the far corner of the lounge, ordered tea, and waited. At exactly 6:07, David entered, dressed to impress, phone in hand. He paced, then greeted a tall man with a briefcase. Together, they walked into a glass-walled meeting room just meters from Emma's booth. She turned on the recorder and pretended to scroll on her phone. Her stomach twisted. Through the glass, she watched David's animated gestures. The lawyer passed over a stack of documents. David leaned in, lips tight. She caught pieces of the conversation. Are you sure she can't access the new accounts? We've moved everything offshore. Once you file, she's shut out completely. And the house? File now, you'll keep it. Custody should tilt in your favor. And the business? David grinned. Then the lawyer's tone hardened. You've got 1 more week. Keep her clueless. Then you're clear. David nodded. She still trusts me. She doesn't suspect a thing. Emma's jaw clenched. Her vision blurred from the tears. But she held it together. The meeting wrapped. David exited through the back. Michael messaged her. Did you get it all? Emma, yes. All of it. She returned to her car, breath shaky. Dialed Michael. He's funneling money offshore. Lawyers promising him everything. House, business, Grace. They're setting me up. Michael paused. We'll use this, Emma. This is solid. He's committing fraud. That tape is gold. Emma sniffed. What do I do now? Keep calm. I'll share the audio with someone I trust, a lawyer who knows how to handle this. Next step. Freeze those accounts before he empties them. I'll walk you through it. But you need to keep playing dumb until I give the signal. Emma inhaled slowly. I can do that. Emma came home late that night. David was on the couch, feet up, half watching a movie with Grace. Hey, he said casually, where've you been? Emma slid off her shoes and smiled. Dinner with Sarah. Time got away from us. No big deal, he replied. Grace and I ordered pizza. Emma walked over and sat beside him on the couch. He draped an arm around her shoulders. Her heart thundered in her chest, but she leaned in anyway, keeping her expression relaxed. Inside, something had shifted. The fear that once consumed her was now a quiet, burning strength. She wasn't scared anymore. The next morning, she called Sarah. I did it, Emma whispered. I got everything. The recordings, the proof. He's funneling money and planning to take Grace. There was silence on the line. "Oh my God, Emma. What now?" "Now I wait," she said calmly. "Michael's working on the legal side. I just have to keep acting like I don't know a thing." Sarah's voice shook. "You're so strong. I couldn't do what you're doing." Emma closed her eyes. "I don't have a choice." That evening, David arrived home with a bouquet of bright yellow lilies. "For you," he said, holding them out with a soft smile. "Thanks for being so patient with me lately." Emma accepted the flowers with a nod. "They're beautiful." He kissed her cheek. "You know I love you, right?" "I know," she replied. She placed the flowers in a vase and set them by the kitchen window, watching David's reflection as he poured himself a drink. The man she once trusted. The father of her child. Now just a stranger in familiar skin. She wouldn't break, not yet. 1 week later, Michael called. "Emma, there's something else you need to know. David's not just planning to leave you. He's got someone else." Emma felt her chest tighten. "Who?" "Her name is Lisa Turner," Michael said. "She's been helping him move money. She's a financial advisor. They've been involved for over a year." Emma gripped the edge of the counter. "So that's who he's really running to." "There's more," Michael said. "We traced several transfers to her account. She set up the offshore holdings." Emma's voice was steel. "Good. That helps us." Michael paused. "You remember the prenup clause about infidelity?" "Of course," she said coldly. "If he cheats, I control everything." "Exactly. If we prove this, he loses all leverage." Emma stared out the window, fury and clarity swirling in her mind. "Then we prove it." From that moment, Emma played her role to perfection. She smiled when David walked into the room. She laughed at his stories. She even left him little notes in his lunch bag, all part of the performance. Every time he lied, she nodded sweetly. But inside, she was organizing her arsenal. One evening, Grace sat at the dining table working on a puzzle while Emma watched David sign papers and slide them into his briefcase. "Working late again?" she asked casually. He looked up, caught off guard. "Yeah, things are moving fast at the firm. Big merger." Emma nodded. "You've been working so hard lately." David smiled like a man who thought he'd won. Emma dropped her gaze. "I've just been wondering, what would happen if one day you stopped loving me?" David's smile faded. "Why would you say that?" Emma twisted her hands together. "I don't know. You're always so busy. Sometimes I feel invisible." He reached across the table and took her hand. "You're not invisible. I promise." Emma looked into his eyes, searching for guilt. But all she saw was strategy. That night, she called Michael again. "He's almost emptied the account," she whispered. "There's barely anything left." Michael's voice turned firm. "Then it's time. We move now. If we wait any longer, he'll disappear with the rest." Emma took a breath, her decision firm. "Let's do it." The following day, Emma met Michael at a downtown law office. Inside, a sharp-eyed woman greeted them, Julia Grant. Julia gestured them into a conference room and sat with her fingers laced on the table. Michael laid out the documents, financial statements, recorded conversations, photos of David and Lisa. "This is our case," he said. "David's committed financial fraud, hidden assets, and violated their prenuptial agreement." Julia flipped through the pages, her brow furrowed. "You've got everything. Offshore transfers, adultery, manipulation. If this is accurate, you control every shared asset." She turned to Emma. "Are you absolutely sure you want to proceed?" Emma nodded. "Yes. I want my daughter protected. I want what's rightfully mine." Julia gave a small smile. Then let's go. We'll freeze the accounts, file for divorce, and hit him with a legal injunction. He won't be able to move another dollar. Emma swallowed hard. What about custody? With this evidence, Julia said, you're in a strong position. Family court judges do not like parents who lie and manipulate. We'll make sure Grace stays with you. Michael placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. You've got this. Emma nodded. Let's go all the way. The next morning, she played the part again. She flipped pancakes in the kitchen, sang along to the radio, and kissed David goodbye as he left for work. What he didn't know was that behind the scenes, Julia's team was already executing the plan. Calls went out to banks. Accounts were frozen. Transfers halted. Access denied. David had no idea what was coming. That afternoon, Emma sat at the kitchen table, the folder of evidence in front of her. Grace was at a sleepover. The house was quiet, still and tense like the pause before a storm. At 6 p.m., David strolled in, whistling. He tossed his keys into the dish and loosened his tie. Emma looked up, calm and collected. We need to talk. David groaned. Now. I've had a brutal day. Yes, Emma said evenly. Now. He sat down across from her. She slid the folder toward him. What's this? He asked, brow furrowing. Open it. David flipped through the pages. Bank records. Legal transcripts. Photos of him and Lisa. His face turned white. Emma's voice was ice. I know everything. The accounts. The affair. The lies. It's all here. He opened his mouth, but she didn't let him speak. Here's how this is going to go. Tomorrow, we go to the bank together. You'll transfer every last cent into a trust for Grace. If you don't, I'll send this file to your board, the police, and every person you do business with. David's hands shook. You can't do this. Emma leaned forward. Watch me. He looked panicked. You'll ruin Grace's future. No, Emma said firmly. You already tried to do that. I'm protecting her. He clenched his jaw. You have no real proof. Emma slid the transcript closer to him. Try me. You think your board wants a CEO who embezzles and lies? You think Lisa's sticking around if you're broke and under investigation? David's mask cracked. His anger surfaced. You'll regret this. Emma stood. No, David. You will. That night, David moved to the guest room. Emma lay in her bed, staring into the darkness, not afraid, but free. The mask had dropped. The battle had officially begun. The next morning, Emma and David walked into the bank together. A private banker, already briefed by Julia's legal team, led them to a secure office. Emma's expression was unreadable as she handed over the paperwork. Her eyes never left David. He stared down at the floor as the manager began processing the transaction. He looked like a man who knew he'd lost. Emma sat motionless, watching as $400 million moved out of their joint account, straight into a protected trust in Grace's name. Locked, untouchable. When the final signature was done, David leaned toward her, voice low. We could still fix this, you know. Start fresh. Emma didn't blink. There's nothing left to fix. His face darkened. You think it's over? You don't know what I'm capable of. Emma met his eyes, steady and cold. Neither do you. After the funds were secured, Julia's team filed the divorce complaint and submitted every piece of evidence, recordings, transactions, the affair. The case moved fast. By that evening, David's world was crumbling. Lisa Turner vanished. No warning. No messages. Just gone. Emma figured Lisa had skipped town the second she realized the accounts were frozen and investigators were closing in. David, now desperate, started texting Emma. Begging. Pleading. Apologizing. She didn't reply to a single message. When Grace returned from her friend's house, Emma wrapped her in a tight hug. Grace looked at her, sensing something different. "Mom, are you okay?" Emma kissed her head. "We're going to be just fine, baby. I promise." The next day, headlines erupted across financial news outlets. CEO under fraud investigation. Marriage scandal behind corporate collapse. David's face was everywhere. His empire, once polished and untouchable, now dragged through the mud. Emma ignored the coverage. She didn't care about the noise anymore. She sat at the breakfast table, watching Grace spread jam on her toast, her heart still bruised but finally beating steady again. David was gone from their home. The locks had been changed. His lawyer called, more than once, hoping to negotiate. Emma never answered. She had already won. That afternoon, Emma met with Julia and Michael one last time in Julia's office. A thick envelope sat on the table in front of her. Michael smiled gently. "That's it. Final paperwork. You did it." He slid the envelope toward her. "David can't touch the money. Grace's future is secure. And the court is preparing to award you full custody." Emma took a shaky breath. "I never wanted this. I just wanted a real family." Julia's voice was quiet but firm. "You protected your daughter. You did what you had to do." Emma nodded, picking up the pen with a steady hand. She signed the final form. The trust was sealed. Grace's future, the one David tried to steal, now locked in her hands. And Emma? She would rebuild.